Hey y'all, welcome back to my kitchen. Oh, this apron kind of clashing with my shirt, but that's okay. We're about to cook. So welcome back to my kitchen. I am Barbara, in case you're new here. I'm in zone 7A in state of Tennessee. And today I'm excited because, well, can we call this cooking? We making something. We're not necessarily cooking. But I'm excited because today we're going to make something that I have never made before. So we are experimenting, but it's going to be all good. I guess this is a season of me trying new things. I think that's what happens when it comes to a slowdown in the garden, is that you kind of transition naturally into the house because there's less to do outside. And so this has been on my list to do for a few months now. And I got all my stuff and I'm just now ready to do it. So today we are making elderberry syrup. I'm so excited because look at this. Look at this. So this is some elderberry syrup that's in my cabinet that it just expired. It expired July 2023. Didn't even know that. Now, sidebar. I am big about not using expired stuff. So and my husband, he likes to keep stuff. I like to throw away stuff. So you can imagine that's a match made in heaven. But I will go through the cabinets every now and then, every couple of months, and I do it when he's not here. And I go through and I throw away all the expired medicine. If it says July 2023 and it's August the 1st, this thing is going in the trash. So I just hadn't seen this. And it may have been down in his office because, anyway, it was on the counter. But it expired July of this year. So it's a 3 or 4 months old. Now, does it mean it's not going to work? Probably not. It's probably just not as potent, but that's beside the point. The point is that we bought this last fall, and if I had to guess, we probably spent at least $15 on it. It might have even been $19.99, right? So, and we have another jar up there of elderberry syrup that we got. Well, it's probably not still up there, but we bought it 2 years ago, especially when the pandemic and stuff was going around. And I know I paid like $24 for that bottle. It was a bigger bottle. But look at the size of this bottle. Look at that. That was probably, like I said, I'm gonna look it up. It probably was like $15 at the minimum. And that was like from Sprouts or whatever. So I'm making my own. 1, it can be cheaper. 2, I can control the ingredients that's in it. 3, I need some. 4, it's about to be flu season. Do I need to keep counting? All the reasons. So we're gonna make our own elderberry syrup. So I am excited. And I watched a few videos and it's super easy. Easy. We can do this. So if you've never, ever used elderberry syrup, okay, let me introduce you. So elderberry syrup is very good, especially this time of the year. A lot of people are selling it. That's when the sales go, off the roof, because a lot of people are buying it from health food stores, people online, all of that stuff. But it's a great immune booster to help keep your immune system, in a good place. And so as the seasons are transitioning and changing, where we're going from summer to fall to frigid to cold, then your body can kind of just get confused, take a hit. And then people are more sick. You're in the grocery store. People are all around you. So it's great to have something on hand. And I haven't always been this way, but I am becoming this person. In the last 2 to 3 years, I really try to use as many natural products as I can. I did not grow up with that lens and that mindset. It was everything just buy medicine out of the store. My husband is really, 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 really big into natural, so he's kind of helped me transition, but I've just seen that my body reacts better. It is better for you. Now, natural medicine works differently than conventional medicine. That's not what this video is about. So I find that a lot of times it is good to have the natural medicine as a preventive, versus when you get sick, you better amp up on it, right? If you're sick right now, you can't take the regular dosage of elderberry. You're gonna need to amp it up some to kind of get you over the hump, if that makes sense. That's my opinion, okay? So we're gonna make elderberry syrup. It doesn't take much. So I'm gonna walk you through as I do it for the first time, this journey of making elderberry syrup. So let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we need is water. So I just have a pot on the stove. I'm turning it up. And basically, I looked at a few different recipes and in usual fashion, I am kind of blending a couple of things. So I will tell you what I'm doing. And for this particular recipe that I landed on, that I'm going to follow more closely than the others, is I'm actually doubling the recipe to see if I can get me 16 ounces. It didn't say how much this one made, the recipe that I'm using. So I'm going to double it and see how close we get to 16 ounces. So 6 cups of water. This recipe again is double. So if you want to make a smaller batch, and I guess you'll see at the end how much it makes, then you can determine from there how much you need. So 6 cups of water. And then we need elderberries, obviously. So you want to buy organic. So these are organic elderberries. I bought these from, I don't remember. I'll have to put it on the screen. But you can get them from any health food store online. I don't know that I've seen them in the store, but you can buy them at any health food store online, which that's one that I use. You can get them from Amazon. Like, just make sure that they're organic. And so for this recipe, it calls for, smells good. Smells just like berries. It calls for 1.5 cup of dried elderberry. So these are dried elderberries, organic. So we're going to put in 1.5 cups. Now, okay, let me show you what it looks like. So that's what it looks like. We're gonna pour this in here. One of the things when we were building this house, we had like a dedication, like when the foundation was built, like the house wasn't up yet, but the foundation was laid. We brought a lot of our friends out here. It was after church one day, and we came and had prayer and dedicated the space. And somebody who was here said that we had elderberries on our property. She's like, those are elderberries. Now, I never saw it. I just heard it because I was talking to somebody else. And she was like, don't ever get rid of those. Well, it ain't here no more. Because I think it was in the area where they had to come through to make the driveway. So I don't know that we would have been able to keep it. But anyway, if there's some elderberries on my property, please, I hope they show themselves so I can go get me some for free. Okay, so we got a 1.5 cup dried elderberries. We got the water. And then it calls for cinnamon. So with all of this, I'm trying to be, most of the stuff I already had in my house. So it says either 2 teaspoons of dry cinnamon or 2 cinnamon sticks. And again, these are cinnamon sticks that I got from Azure Standard. So we're going to put 2. This one was open. Let me see if this one, I don't know if they're supposed to have a smell. I probably should have put these in a jar. But this one hasn't been open. So let me see. Yeah, this is stronger. So we're going to put 2 cinnamon sticks in there. These, they were open. I'll put these in a jar from now on and seal it. And then 2 teaspoons of dried cloves or 8 whole cloves or clove essential oil. So I have some cloves here. Matter of fact, I got some whole cloves here. So it says, or 8 whole cloves. So let's just shake this out. And again, I really feel like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's about right. I really feel like this can be modified to however you want it. We're going to do it based on the recipe, and then I'll see how it tastes, and then I can always adjust and do it differently the next time. But this is how I kind of approach when I'm doing recipes. If it's something I've never done before, I'm usually going to try to go by the recipe. I would say 90% the first time, and then I just let my own cooking intuition sink in. But the way I feel about this recipe is that as long as you have the basic ingredients and the ratios are around the same, I think it will be just fine. It really probably is going to depend on your personal taste and preference. So if I wanted to put 10 cloves instead of 8, I don't think it's not going to hurt the quality of the product. It just may affect the taste. Okay. And so then it said fresh ginger. So let me go grab the ginger out of the refrigerator. So just to kind of recap, we did water, elderberries, dried cinnamon or cinnamon stick, and then 2 cloves. I'll try to put this recipe down below, but let me go grab the ginger. And then there's one other ingredient we're going to add in as well. Okay, so I have the fresh ginger. Y'all know I don't like ginger, right? We've already had this discussion. Let me just break this part off. We've already had this discussion, so y'all know I don't like ginger. But I do recognize that it has great properties and it's good for you. So I'm going to follow the recipe and put it in here, and hoping that it doesn't have too much of a negative taste or whatever. Let me turn this down a little bit. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just taking the back of a spoon to peel the ginger. You can peel it with a knife, but I saw this and I'm like, oh, this is much easier. And it actually just comes right off. So just like a regular spoon, you can peel it just like that. I probably should have already had this part done, but I didn't. So I saw this somewhere and I was like, oh, let me try that. You guys probably already know this because you probably are eating ginger every day, but your girl is not. I had to go to the store and buy ginger because I don't keep it in my house. But I know that it's good for you. I know all the things. I just don't like that bite. Okay. So let me cut a piece. It says 2 tablespoons. I'm gonna err on the side of let's see, less versus more. Let's see. Okay, we'll get this last little piece off. Make it a little bit easier. So this is probably 1 tablespoon. And you can, of course, if you don't have fresh ginger and you only have dry ginger, if you want to use that, you can. I'm going to go ahead and be good and put this other piece in there. It's hard to get the spoon in these little parts that look like, they like claws or something, like feet. So we'll just go ahead and use the knife. So we got that in there. And then the last ingredient that has to go in the water is I'm adding, and this is not on every recipe, this is an addition that I'm making, is rose hips. So rose hips are good in vitamin C. So I didn't talk about, I talked about elderberry syrup being a good immune booster. And while I'm talking, let me do this. It's we're gonna put in 1/4 cup of rose hips. And I'll be honest, I've never bought rose hips and I've never seen what it looks like. But we're about to find out right now. That's what it looks like. I'm just gonna eyeball this. I'm not gonna get out a new measuring stone. It says 1/4 cup. That might have been a little bit more. That's okay. It smells good. But rose hips are good in vitamin C. And so this is how I'm kind of approaching it. Because I'm making it myself, I can control the ingredients, right? And if I would have had some echinacea, I would have put that in there too. I'm just kind of making up my own tonic. My own wellness tonic. So we're going to do elderberry. And there were some recipes that had the rose hips in it, but there were plenty that didn't. But I'm like, the more, the better, right? The more, the better. I remember I was sick with COVID. Was that 2 years ago? What is this, 2023? Yeah, it was 2 years ago. Bad, like really, really bad. And took a lot of natural medicine and got better. And elderberry was one of the things that I took. And it doesn't have necessarily a bad taste. I mean, it tastes like berries. I mean, some people like the taste of it. I'm not going to say that I love the taste of it, but I can certainly tolerate it. It's not horrible by no stretch of the imagination. But elderberry syrup is good in antioxidants. It helps boost your immune system. Man, it has so many properties in it as well. And then think about the stuff that we added in here, the cloves, the cinnamon, all of that stuff has good properties that are in there. So we're going to actually let this boil. It's already boiling for like 45 minutes and it's supposed to reduce to half. And then once it does that, we're going to add the very last ingredient, which is some raw honey. And then that's it, y'all. That is literally it. So I'm going to let this boil and put it on a timer, and then I'll bring you back when it's time to do the next step. Okay, y'all, while we're waiting, I'm back. We still got another 20 minutes or so. But while I was waiting on that, I thought, let me go ahead and seal my cinnamon. And I remember that I had bought this handy new tool. I know I'm always buying something. But y'all, you gotta have tools. Y'all already know, if you follow me, I'm all about efficiency. Oh, let me grab the box. Be right back. So I bought this probably 2 months ago. So this is what it is, a mason jar sealer and accessory hose kit. I saw this, somebody was using it. I was like, oh, I need that. Now, I have a vacuum sealer, which, have you guys seen me use my vacuum sealer? I don't use it a ton, but I do have one in case I need it. And like I said, I don't use it a ton, but when I use it, I use it. And on my vacuum sealer, I do have an attachment where I can seal jars. So I already have something very similar to this that Ball makes. And you can attach the hose to your vacuum sealer, and then it'll seal your mason jars. And let me just go back a step in case you're like me, that I didn't even know that you could seal a mason jar until somebody told me. So I just sealed my cinnamon sticks. See, it's sealed, airtight. And again, I'm going back because I never want to assume that people know, because again, this channel is all about teaching, inspiring, and taking you through my journey. And if you just now start joining me, you may think, oh, she knows it all. She's been doing this a long time. I do not, and I have not, right? Everything that I learn, I try to share. Even if 99% of you know it, there's one person that doesn't know it that's going to be forever thankful, because I'm always that one person on somebody else's channel. So that's why I always try to take my time to go back. So if you didn't know, you can seal mason jars. The reason why you would want to do that is to keep it preserved or stored longer. So like dried beans, or if you did like some dehydrated apples or things like that, you can put it in a mason jar. But if you seal it and make it airtight, it's going to store and stay fresher longer. Now, doing it this way is not a long-term preservation. I would say a good 6 months, in terms of that. But it's not something that, oh, let me just put it in here for 2 or 3 years. It's not like canning. It is sealing, is the best way I know how to explain it. But, so I have a tool on my vacuum sealer, something very similar to this that I bought from Ball. But in order to use it, I got to get out my vacuum sealer. So that's the reason why I bought this, because this is something I don't have to get out my vacuum sealer. I can just put it on the jar. Let me show you. Okay, so we're going to do our elderberries. Instead of me keeping them in this bag, I can put them in this jar and seal them so they can be fresh for when we need them. And y'all, another thing, we were talking about how much I paid for that elderberry syrup. It might have been $15. It's going to be interesting to see how much this double batch makes, because I still have this left. So this is a quart jar. So that's about 3 cups right there. And in our recipe, we use 1.5 cups. So that means I can make the same recipe 2 more times. So I already know this is going to be cheaper. I want to say for this, I don't remember the price. It was maybe $20 or less. Like it definitely was not more than $25. I want to say it might have been like $19.99, $14.99, something like that. So even if this cost me $20, if let's just say I get, because that bottle wouldn't nowhere close to even 8 ounces, but let's just say I get double and I paid $20, I'm already to the good, But let me stop talking. Let me talk about this. So you're going to put it in a jar. You're going to put your lid over it. It comes with a regular and a wide mouth. So obviously this is the wide mouth. I'm going to put this over it like that. It comes with this little attachment. You're going to put it over the hole. Press the button. Can y'all see that? And here it said to give it about 15 seconds. I didn't count. Let's just see if it's ready. Take that off. Take this part off. Sealed. Just like that. So, what am I going to say? Game changer. Okay? So, did I have to have this? No, I didn't. I have something that does the exact same thing. I do. Right? But my vacuum sealer is in a cabinet. It's up at the top of the cabinet. It's behind the waffle maker. Like, I got to get on my hands and knees. So when I do the vacuum sealer, like, I'm doing it. I don't want to get out the vacuum sealer just to seal a couple of jars. This says I don't have to do that anymore. This was on Amazon. I will add the link below. I know you want to know, Barbara, how much did it cost? I don't remember, but it wasn't expensive. And I know that that's relative. I'm going to guess maybe $15. Like, it wasn't more than 15. Like I always know, like it went more than this because I know that I wouldn't have bought it. Does that make sense? It might have been like $8.99 or something. Like it was not high at all. Okay. Now I hope when I go back and check that link I'm right, but I'm pretty sure I am. Okay, so we got our elderberry sealed, cinnamon sealed. Well, let's invite rose hips to the party. Let's put our rose hips. Now, let me get a smaller jar for the rose hips because it is not that much. We got a pint jar for the rose hips, and I only need half a pint. Let me go get another jar. Half a pint jar. So let's put these in here. And remember, we only used 1/4 cup of these. So a pint jar is what? Half a cup? No, a cup. A cup. So we got plenty that we can still do. That's what that looks like. Again, we're going to put this lid, and these little lids came with the kit. So they sent you, they added in the box 2 regular mouth and 2 wide mouth. So put it on here. Just like that. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Voila, just like that. So we made good use of our time because now we only have, I think it says 17 minutes, but I put it on for 40. The recipe said 10. So we probably only have like 7 minutes. But let me show you because it's already reducing. Let me show you. Okay, you can see it's already reducing. It was pretty much up here. So it said reduced by half. So it's 7 minutes left if I did the time right. I may let it go 2 more minutes and so, but we may be ready to rock and roll. So that didn't take long at all. Okay, the steam is fogging up the camera. So you can see that there. So I'll bring you back in just a few minutes and we'll do the next step. Okay, y'all, I'm back. So what's happened since the last time I was on is that I let it finish boiling until it reduced to half. I showed you that. And then I've been letting it cool for about 30 minutes to kind of get the heat off of it. So it's been about 30 minutes. So I think that we should be good to go. Yep, it's cool. So what we're going to do now is drain it. I have like a fine mesh sieve on top of a measuring cup. So let's pour. And see what we have. You can kind of see that there. And then we're going to get a spoon. And then we're just going to press the mixture down to get as much as we can. I got some more in the pot too, so let me put this in here. That is relatively easy. So I would say us putting the ingredients in, that can be done in like 5 minutes. I was running my mouth and talking to you guys, but if I wasn't, 5 minutes to put all the ingredients in there. Elderberry, cloves, ginger, cinnamon sticks, rose hips, and water. The only thing that really has to be prepared, so to speak, would be peeling your ginger if you're using fresh ginger. And with all of these, again, if you have ground ginger, you can use that. If you have ground cinnamon, you can use that. But if you have the whole product, then I think that's always better. So I'm just pressing to try to get all the juice out. That's the little cinnamon stick there. I'll put that back in the thing. But already I have 1.5 cups of just the juice. So, okay, so we have that. I don't know that we'll get any more out of that. So then the last step is just to add local raw honey. Now, I don't have any local honey to me. I haven't found anybody in my area that sells local honey. Do I know anybody that has local honey that has bees? Seems like I know people who have bees, but I don't know if they're bees or what do you call it, producing. Anyway, I don't have local honey. I do have raw honey. So again, the ideal is local honey, because if you get local honey, then it has the the pollen and the antibodies that's local to your area that'll help like with your allergies is what I've heard. But I don't have that, so I'm just using a raw honey. So I have my honey, and it's actually two different kinds. I got orange blossom, which that's a lighter honey, and it said a light honey would be good, and then I didn't have enough orange blossom, so I just have like some regular honey in there, but it's all raw. So I think it's 2 cups of raw honey to add to this, and then we're just gonna mix it up, and then we're done. So let's see. I'm gonna press it one more time. Just stirring it around, see if there's anything else. Now, because this is my first time making it, and everybody that I saw, like you can't reuse these elderberries. I think that they're done. I don't know what else you can do with them. I may look it up and see a little bit later. We'll put that over there. Then we're gonna just add in the honey. I'm gonna add in half. Well, I didn't mean to do that. Because if I don't add in the rest, I'm gonna have to use that honey for some more elderberry syrup, since I just put the elderberry spoon in there. That was a little faux pas. Oh well. I was gonna add in half and just see what it tastes like. So we're just mixing it up. Let's see what it tastes like. Let's just see. And not that it's gonna be fantabulous, but it needs some more honey. It's definitely not sweet at all. So we'll go ahead and add the rest of this. And I'm going based on elderberry syrup that I've had. I've never tasted one that was like that. It's definitely much sweeter. That was more, I wouldn't even say tart. I would just say it wasn't sweet at all. So let's stir this up. And as you can see, we are gonna have almost 4 cups. Now let's get a new spoon and taste it again. Let's see what it tastes like. Hold on, that spoon has something on it. Okay. Uh-oh. Good. Yeah, that's really good. Like, I hate to say it, but that tastes better than what's in the store. That definitely sweetened it up some, but it's not sweet at all. Like, it's not, you know how cough syrup and some stuff is like extra sweet? This is not extra sweet at all. Like, I think I'm gonna leave it just like that. Like, to me, I like that better than it being too sweet, if that makes sense. And of course, you know that raw honey has properties for your immune system as well. So y'all, that's really good. I'm impressed. Y'all, look at that. Okay. So now, last step is to put it in a bottle. Now, you can store this in a mason jar, but y'all know I'm fancy. You know I'm extra. Look at this. Do you see this, y'all? Look at my little label. I had my team make me an elderberry syrup label. This is the same size labels that we use for our jalapeno salt. And so I ordered these bottles. This is a glass amber bottle. I didn't want to put mine in a mason jar. Can you? You can, but that's not what I wanted. I wanted a different look. So I ordered these bottles, and these bottles came from Mountain Rose Herbs. It's a 16-ounce bottle. And in my mind, y'all know I'm not good with measurements. In my mind, it was going to be half the size. I didn't know it was going to be this big. This is big. This is really, really big. I really meant to get 8 ounce, but I had already shipped. I done paid for them. And to send them back was going to be too much, so they're going to be in this. But ideally, the next time I probably do them in 8 ounce bottles. But I did a label because, you know what? We might sell it. We just might sell it. Okay. So let's see if this funnel will... I'm sorry, I was making dinner in my break. So let me move this out of the way. Uh-oh. These funnels can be a little tricky. Okay. trying to make sure that I don't want to lose any of our goodness. So let's see. And of course, I've already washed the bottle. Okay, it's working. It is working. Voila. Wow. Yikes. Look at that, y'all. I love it. Where's my top? Is that not? And I have enough for another bottle. So let me get another bottle. Okay. I have another bottle. Again, this is glass amber. And anytime you're doing like soaps, medicines, things like that, it always says to use an amber colored bottle if you can versus a regular glass, because the light, of course, I think can make it deteriorate faster. That's what I read. So that's what we did. Okay, so let's put our funnel back on. Trying not to make a mess. Okay, let's see. I won't have enough to fill up the whole bottle, but halfway. So it made 24 ounces, essentially. This recipe did. So if I was doing 8-ounce bottles like I thought I was doing, then I would have had enough for 3 bottles. But this is plenty because ain't nobody gonna get that sick. We're not claiming that. But again, you can take it as a preventative. So let me put my little label on there. Y'all, I know y'all think I'm extra. It's okay. It is a-okay. Because you know what I always say? Do you. Do what makes you happy. This makes me happy, happy, happy. And because the bottle is so big and my label is so small, I'm just putting one on each side. Because I need to use up this page of labels anyway that they did for me. But look at that. Look at that. I have 24 ounces of homemade elderberry that I made with my own hands. We made it together. We made elderberry syrup. We made it together. 24 ounces of elderberry syrup. And I can assure you, it was cheaper for me to make it than to buy it at the store. Because again, y'all, that little bottle that we saw right here, this is 3 fluid ounces. I just 8 times this. 8 times it. So let's just for fun. Let's say it was $10, which I know it had to be more than $10. But let's just say it was $10. So if I bought the equivalent of this, that would be 8 times this, right? Because I have 24 ounces. This is 3. That means I would have spent $80, right? I can assure you I didn't spend $80 on this stuff. So everything I had in my house except the elderberries and the rose hips. I already had the honey. So, I mean, I do want to factor in that cost, but I use that honey for other stuff. I already had cinnamon sticks. I already had cloves. I already had all that stuff. But let's just, for quick math. So that jar of honey, let's just say it's $10, which I use it for tons of stuff. I probably used, I don't know. That jar is 32 ounces. We used, let's just say 16. So we used half of it, maybe $5. Yeah, I'm going through the math. 45, 60. Okay, let's just say I spent $60. And I went through the math real quick in my head about cloves, cinnamon sticks. They're like $4 a pack from Azure Standard. But let's just say I spent $60 on all of this. I have $80 worth of elderberry syrup, and I still have stuff to make more. So I don't have to show you the calculation for you to get that this was cheaper. And it was easy. So remember, I always say that you either have time or money. Whatever you have the most of, girl, spend it in great proportions, right? If it's your time, spend it. If it's your money, spend it. But even when I'm spending my time, I wanted to make sense. Like, that was easy. Without video and all that, literally 5 minutes for me to whip the ingredients up. I'm going to spend, well, it has to boil for 30 minutes, but I can be off doing something else, which I was. I cooked dinner, got rice in the Instant Pot, got stuff on the stove, and I sealed my jars. So 30 minutes of productivity. But then after that, it cooled for, let's say, another 20 minutes or so. And then to mix it up and add the honey, another 5 minutes. So really, out of my time, 10 minutes. The whole process, probably 50 minutes. I'll take it every day of the week. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm excited about my syrup, y'all. If you ain't excited, I'm excited. Homemade elderberry syrup. But thank you guys for joining me. I hope this inspires you to go and try it yourself. Especially, let me know right now, do you have elderberry syrup in your cupboard that you bought from a health food store, online, wherever? Do you have some? Do you regularly take it? Put it in the comments. If the answer is yes, I want you to at least try making this on your own and tell me what you think. Okay? So thank you guys for joining me. I had so much fun in the kitchen with you guys today, and I'm excited about my syrup. Like, I don't have a cough, just joking. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me. Remember, this is a journey. Let's grow together. I'll see you next time.